Have you ever wondered how podcasting got started? Believe it or not, podcasting is relatively new to the scene. So let's rewind and see how we got to where we are today. In this video, we'll talk about where it all started, or the before time. We'll also talk about how the NFL, the football league, made podcasting possible. So thanks, NFL. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about the Apple revolution. So as you may know, I started out my live streaming career in the world of internet radio and in the world of radio. When I was starting out, there was this new thing called RSS feeds, where people could start to download audio on demand. They had the ability to subscribe to blogs, which were text, but also to audio clips. This was the simplest way of transferring an audio clip between multiple people, to share it with your audience, if you will, if you'd use modern day terminology. So this is about the year 2000. The turn of the century, the new millennium, where some people were freaking out about their computers not knowing how to turn from 99 to 00. But most importantly, this is where podcasting started. It started in these different technologies. The first iterations were these RSS feeds, these ability for other viewers, for your audience, to subscribe to your content. This way we could start to deliver that content. It wasn't as much audio as it was being used for text content. Definitely wasn't able to be used for video content back then. But this is that first chance that we could be able to create subscriptions, where our people could subscribe to our content. All the way back in the year 2000. Which for some of us wasn't that far back at all, actually. And to see where podcasting has grown to is pretty freaking fantastic. And if you'd like to exercise your power to subscribe, I highly recommend you hit the subscribe button here on the Visibility Hacking channel. We have new videos for you every week, helping you and your small business level up your influence, your authority, and your income online. Let's help you connect to your ideal audience and nurture them through your communities. Now, not long after we had this introduction of RSS feeds and the abilities to subscribe, the NFL was experimenting. The NFL, of all places, I struggled to understand this at first. But when I was diving into the history, it was obvious. What is the NFL's number one motivator? It's not a particular team winning, because regardless, whatever team wins or whatever team loses, the league in and of itself is still making money. The two big things that the league cares about are viewers and money. And so they're willing, in order to get that audience and to get that money, they're willing to put out a lot. And they were looking at these cutting edge technologies and looking at ways that they can use them. So in 2003, the NFL did something totally revolutionary. The New England Patriots launched a new show where they were actually sharing the audio files of interviews that were done at a blogging convention. They were sharing them as MP3 files. That was revolutionary, simply because we had never thought about doing that before. This is the first time we're starting to see repurposing of content from offline to online. We're starting to see movement of platform. So our viewers who are usually watching our TV show, if we're the NFL, or they're sitting their butts in our seats at our games, to now they're engaging with our content on a different platform. They're eating up our content in a different way. And that is a beautiful thing. And it's also where we're starting to see this distribution of audio files. These longer form audio files where people are actually listening to them. Now, this is 2003, so it's around the time that we have Napster and we have file sharing and we have all of these different things happening where we're sharing audio files, but it's mostly we're talking about music. Nobody's talking about talk. Nobody's talking about talk radio in the world of internet. They're not talking about sharing interviews. So that was able to continue to grow while they kept a clear eye on what was happening in the file sharing world when it came to the movie and music industries. Pretty revolutionary, all from a sports team of all things. Did you think that was true? Because it is. It's absolutely true. You can look it up yourself. But let me know if you believe it. If you think that was cool. If you remember back in the day, any of these precursors to the podcasting movement, let me know down in the comments. I love your stories. So of course we have to talk about the Apple revolution. So in 2005, only a couple more years later, a couple more years after this NFL thing was happening, Apple finally decided that podcasts were going to be a thing. It only took a couple years to go from the first sharing of audio files to this is going to be something big. This is going to be a platform where people are going to engage. So much so that Apple decided to dive in and start using podcasts as part of their platform delivery. So Apple Podcasts was born, and this became the first directory of these audio shows. So the audio shows, these podcasts that we listen to, are a combination of that first RSS feed, the ability to subscribe, the ability to send out notifications, and for other people, our viewers, to aggregate those podcasts as they came in. We had that technology, and we had the sharing of audio files, all merged together to create this beautiful thing that we call the podcast. And then Apple swoops in and says, hey, we're going to make it easier for you to find all of these awesome pieces of content by creating a directory for you. And that, my friends, is the history of podcasting. Now, what's happening in the future? Well, I'll give you a hint. We got another video talking about the future of podcasting, but the tip I'll give you right now is that the future of podcasting is live video. Being able to engage live with hosts and guests and listeners all together, that is the future of podcasting. And we'll show you how to do that with your content. So if you're already producing podcast content, then what I need you to do is click the link down below and download the live stream analysis. I want you to work through that assignment. Look at the content you're producing, whether it's your podcast or your live video content or your live stream show, or maybe you're creating videos once in a while for your YouTube page. Whatever it is, I want you to analyze that content using what we call the Stream 360 framework. This will walk you through all the different things you need to know. Give yourself a score at the end, and if you want to take that score and amplify it, triple it, quadruple it, 10x it, what will you? Then I want you to click the link in that workbook and join us for Live Academy. We'll show you how to take your podcast to the next level, how to take your message to your audience and amplify your voice, because your message matters, and we want you to find that audience. I love it, my friends. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be doing a future of podcasting episode very soon. If you want to see it, definitely let us know down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, download your live stream analysis, watch these videos. Remember, I love you, be excellent to each other, and just go live.